Hi guys, welcome back to Gearjunkies TV and a new video. Today we're gonna take a look and listen to the Modor DR-2. Modor is a specialized synthesizer company from Belgium. You might know them from their synthesizer, the NF1 or the Eurorack modules. The DR-2 is their first drum machine and it has a complete virtual analog sound engine, 6 drum voices with a built-in mixer and a sequencer. So let's take a look and listen to all this, but first you can stay informed about all our videos by subscribing to our channel. Just click the subscribe button below the video and you can hit the bell button to get notifications when there's something new on our channel. The DR-2 is a desktop unit but also comes with wooden side panels and rack ears. This allows you to mount it in a 19-inch rack and it takes up 7 height units. The cabinet is white, made of metal with a spacious layout of knobs and sliders, and on the top right an illuminated display of 2 rows of characters. Modor gives its appliances a special look with careful thought given to space around the buttons and convenient placement. It's a stylish, unique looking device with all the control buttons on top. There are 6 sliders on the left with 6 push buttons below and 6 rotary knobs above. The sliders control the volume of each instrument and by pressing the buttons you select the instrument and hear it immediately. The buttons in the middle and on the right are used to edit the sound of the selected instrument. And the lower part of the DR-2 contains the sequencer. On the back we find all the connections with some interesting details. First, the connectors are recessed, which is very convenient for rack mounting. And on the left-right output you can also connect headphones on the left side, which are then stereo. All instruments have their own mono output, which also has an insert function. So if you plug in an insert cable, you can use an external effect per output. And the signal including insert is internally routed further to the mixer section and from there to the left-right outputs. There's a clock in-out and a MIDI in through out, also found on the back, and the DR-2 has an external power adapter. There are 17 drum models available for the 6 instruments. These are algorithms with a unique parameter set for each model, sometimes focused on a particular type of drum sound or sometimes more general. Each model has a general set of parameters for which the DR-2 has rotary knobs. For example, each instrument has a pitch section with decay, amount of envelope and pitch curve setting, and an amp section with curve setting, decay and panning. The more unique parameters of the chosen drum model can be adjusted with the 4 X, Y, Z and T rotary knobs. And because each model has a different function for these 4 knobs, Modor has created a quick reference card that you can keep at hand. For some types of drum sounds there are several models available. For example, for bass and snare drums you have the choice of 3 models. When you listen to and edit the sounds you will immediately notice the strength of the DR-2. All the sounds are tight, deep and have a good punch. Although you can certainly create vintage sounds with some of the models, looking like classics like the TR-909 and TR-808, the DR-2 can do much more. The models encompass a much broader and more general view of how drum and percussion sounds are constructed. And with a little experimentation you can get the craziest sounds but also surprising, fresh sounding snares, bell-like sounds and more acoustic wood or drum head like sounds. They are all possible. The result is a wide range of possible sounds that's unique among drum machines and can sound modern, abstract or old-fashioned. Let's walk through all the sounds. Let's start with the bass drum. Now the DR-2 has 4 envelope curves for both the pitch and the amp section, and these play an important role in how the sounds are produced. In the most extreme setting the decay falls hard shortly after the start and creates very short ticking sounds. And the decay then increases in 3 levels to a linear decay through the other curves. With special amp attack time setting you can also make the sounds click free no matter how short they are. This is the noise bass drum. square bass drum, string bass drum, basic snare, March snare drum, analog snare, hi-hat, ride cymbal, crash cymbal, claps, tom, tenor drum, rimshot, rattle, Cowbell. Bottle. The DR-2 has a number of modulation options for each instrument. There's a random option to vary one parameter per instrument, and this works as follows. If you press random and you press one of the knobs here, then you can see what the random function will alter when you play the instrument. There's also an alpha and beta setting, which you can program per step, where one parameter is different for each step, depending on whether you program it as alpha or beta. This way it's possible to combine, for instance, a closed and open hi-hat in one instrument. Velocity can be used to adjust the volume and one other parameter per instrument, and you program this in combination with the accent function of the sequencer. With the depth function, you can assign a parameter to the rotary knobs above each slider to make live variations. And in the next update, parameter locks will be added so you can save different settings for the instrument per step of the sequencer. Each instrument has another output section consisting of a compressor, EQ and distortion. The tilt EQ has one parameter to move the curve through the frequency range, and so you can quickly put a sound in the mix. The compressor has a threshold, attack, and you can choose a sidechain source. This way it's possible to let the kick control the other instruments without the kick itself getting much compression. And the distortion sounds nice and is actually more like an overdrive that makes the sound a bit louder but also a bit warmer and places it differently in the mix. This way it's possible to make a balanced drum kit, especially by using the volume sliders. Let's look at these parameters. Tilt EQ, compressor, threshold, compressor attack, and the distortion. The sequencer also offers some special features. Basically, it's a running light step sequencer as we know it from other drum machines, but with a LED above each step indicating if it's active and a length setting of 128 steps. There are buttons for 16 steps, but there are also LEDs in between. And by holding the 1632 button and one of the step buttons, you can easily insert a 30-second note at each step. Other key combinations are break, which moves the sequencer one step, and the note reverse, which reverses the envelopes on that step. And then there's an accent function per instrument and a total accent that can be programmed into the step sequencer. All in all, this provides an interesting set of parameters with which you can compose exciting patterns. You can then add swing, flam and tuplets to those, with certain notes falling just outside the grid. Different timing signatures can be created by adjusting the number of steps, and triplets and other tuplets are a bit more difficult as they are not directly placed on the grid with the tuplet function, but have to be done by ear via the tuplet parameters. Let's listen to how a drum pattern can sound. latest firmware also contains a Euclidean generator, with which you can quickly generate a pattern per instrument based on length, number of hits and rotation. The sequencer also offers a song function up to 32 songs with a length of 60 patterns, and the DR-2 receives MIDI note data and sends the sequencer MIDI notes, and all parameters receive MIDI controller data and also send it when the knobs are turned. Let's take a quick look at the Euclidean generator. So we have three sections here. One is the length, and then there's the section that contains the number of beats that have to occur during this length, and the rotation can be set here. So for instance, when I program it like this, we hear it like this. And if we make a different setting here, we can set it a bit shorter maybe, and then do a bit more beats. So, what do we think of the DR-2? It is a versatile drum instrument that doesn't try to be just another drum computer, but instead offers a very different sound and sequencing options. The 6 drums are easily programmable via the sophisticated user interface with knobs for just about every parameter, and the 17 drum models are certainly sufficient to create a huge range of drum and percussion sounds. The sound is particularly good with tight timings, snappy envelopes and a big tight sound. It's also very handy that each instrument has a separate output which also can be used as an insert. The drum sequencer also offers a lot of possibilities with the very simple operation, and unique are the reverse function and the between LEDs, with which you can generate 1 30-second steps very quickly. Also nice is the implementation of the Euclidean drum pattern generator, and the DR-2 can also work as an input source for DAW, since all notes and parameters are sent over MIDI. The push buttons are great for listening to the drums, but are not really suitable for live drumming. Very handy are the volume sliders and the possibility to give the encoders above them a function to use live. So if you're looking for a modern drum machine that offers its own sound and sequence functions, then the DR-2 is an excellent choice. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, then please give us a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of our videos, subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time.